Hi, Rachel.
Hey, Luke.
We're back to film another video again. We were supposed to be filming this at the end of January, and you arrived, we had everything set up. I was kind of a bit of a scatterbrain.
We were busy.
And I knocked over the tripod that had my camera set up and smashed my lens, which was very disappointing. So here we are now that I've got the new lens finally shipped. We are here filming this at the end of February. So how are you doing? How's the year been for you so far?
I'm good. Yeah, the year has been great. I've definitely been taking advantage of all this snow that we've been getting, which is great. I was able to get out to Fernie, and that was my first time skiing a mountain, which was a wild experience.
Yeah, so fun.
Far more challenging than I thought it would be, but amazing as well.
Good.
Been getting up to Blue Mountain when I can as well to ski a little bit, but mostly just read my book and do some work. And then it's been an interesting market right now, and I'm working with a lot of amazing people, which I'm very grateful for, and we're waiting for those right opportunities.
Nice.
How about you?
Yeah, the year's been really busy. Work has been very busy since the beginning of January. There was definitely a complete shift in momentum from December to January. And yeah, we took our daughter to Disney in Orlando for the first time, which was great.
Yeah.
And my mom and dad spent January and February in Anna Maria Island, which is on the Gulf side of Florida. So we went and stayed with them for about a week.
Sweet.
We have our daughter in tennis lessons, snowboarding lessons, and swimming lessons weekly. So my wife and I are kind of juggling that.
Yep.
I've been attending a few 5-year-old birthday parties.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. So it's just a busy household.
Yeah,
and,
I bet.
and just busy with work. So
Sounds good.
yeah. So what have you been noticing out there with the market so far?
I mean, it's been a really interesting market. Typically, on a macro level, when we're looking at, average sale price and just overall board statistics, January and February are typically lumped together because they're quite similar. But that's not really what we've been seeing at the beginning of this year, which is really interesting. I mean, in January, a lot of showings have ramped up on our listings. A lot of the inventory that we were holding in the third and fourth quarter of 2024 has now sold.
Yeah.
A lot more of activity, lots of reported sales, deals were firming up, and we've just been noticing a lot of competition on the wartime bungalows I'm specifically seeing in the Hamilton Mountain. A lot of homes that are priced well, prepared well, maybe have some updates. Those are still going, or were still going in January in competition. So that's what we're seeing. That's what we were seeing in January. What about February?
Yeah, and then February, it was a bit of a shift and a pivot in terms of overall activity. There's still deals that are coming together, homes are still selling, but the momentum and the overall activity we've definitely noticed has slowed a little bit. Yeah,
and that's interesting because that's not very typical for this time of year. Typically, we see the slowdown right around March break, right before, families go away. Their priorities really aren't on real estate, and it just seems a bit premature for it to be happening in February.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting. Just a bit of a recap as to what the market analysts were predicting for 2025. They were anticipating a gradual increase in average pricing, fueled by lower inventory, lower interest rates, and overall increased demand. A lot of motivated buyers out there, they're ready to move. January and February were expected to perform fairly well, expecting a robust spring market towards the end of March break, towards the end of May, and then just an overall sense of stability in the market. That's what a lot of market analysts and a lot of the chatter was about. So what is it we're actually seeing now?
Yeah, well, although the interest rates have been coming down over the last year, there's, I think, 3 main factors that are impacting the way that the market's performing. Number one, there's been a snap election called for provincial politics, which traditionally we've always heard that elections will cause the market to slow a little bit. We're also dealing with an evolving situation with federal politics. We've got a Liberal leadership race that's in the midst right now, and then an upcoming federal election. So that could also be causing things to be a little bit up in the air and a little bit slow. And then, of course, the dominating story in the media over the last month or so, since Trump has been inaugurated is the tariffs and the strained US-Canada relations, which I think all three of those things are probably having a bit of an impact on consumer confidence.
Yes. Kind of a perfect storm.
yeah. But that being said, I mean, we're still, there are properties that are still selling.
Totally.
And it's just important to have the right strategy.
Yeah, I mean, just recently we had 3 buyer clients firm up on purchases. We had 2 seller clients sell their properties. And, you know, those rare offerings, those homes that, again, that are priced well, that show well, they are still moving. I mean, we just noticed there was that great bungalow on Markland that was listed for 1.1 and it sold for 1.2 in competition. So as you said, things are still moving, buyers are still out there. It's just really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's super important right now to have a really strategic pricing strategy.
Yes.
And also make sure that the product and the listing is prepped extremely well and that it's being marketed well. And I think if there's a well-developed strategy for sellers in that respect, then properties will still move. And that kind of leads me into the next topic, because we often have people, a lot of sellers are of the mindset of waiting for the spring market, but selling in the winter can strategically work well for people. So what are some things that sellers should keep in mind if they are wanting to sell their property in the winter?
The winter can be a great time to sell. You know, historically and generally speaking, there is less competition out there. So as you said, prices the home well, has a good marketing strategy, the condition of the property is good. They have a chance to really stand out amongst the crowd because there's also typically low inventory as well. There are motivated buyers out there. The serious buyers are really the ones out there, especially with the amount of snow we've been getting. A lot of people want to stay inside. So the people that are willing to, you know, literally brave the elements, they're out there. They are looking for the next opportunity. And then in terms of market timing, you know, right now, as you mentioned, we're at the end of February. So if a seller has a product that is ready to hit the market, doing it sooner rather than later could be a strategy, just because March break is gonna, you know, it's going to come by sooner than we think. And typically families are away. A lot of people aren't thinking about buying or selling real estate at that time. So getting a house on the market sooner rather than later could definitely be a strategy. And then also just preparing your home for winter showings. It's really important to focus on curb appeal. We've got to shovel those walkways, put salt down, you know, and also highlight the home in a more unique way. Installing that warmer lighting or adding some seasonal decor to make the home inviting could be another strategy as well. Interior staging, it's, again, a lot of snow outside. It's very cold. We want to make sure the home is warm and inviting. If you have a gas fireplace, we want to highlight those winter-specific features. So make sure it's on during showings. If you have energy-efficient windows, highlight those in the listing. If you have a furnace that has been recently updated, definitely highlight that as well. We want to highlight those winter-specific features during this time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't mean to beat a dead horse here, but pricing. Pricing is such an important thing. It's really important to take winter market conditions into consideration, have a very close look at comparable properties that have sold recently in the area. And I think most important is looking at what else you're competing against and being strategic with your pricing with that. There's already limited inventory at this time of year. The serious buyers are out there looking. So if you can be a little aggressive and strategic with your pricing, it'll probably result in a successful sale. And then also some other marketing strategies. I just think it's really important to have great cinematic videos and virtual tours. You know, because of the weather, a lot of people will really do their search online before they end up booking an appointment to come out. So having great videos, having great marketing, excellent photos, a 3D style tour so people can do a bit of a tour from the comfort of their own home before they actually book an appointment to come out. I think that's important. And as well, as an example, we've got a listing coming up in about a week in Etobicoke, actually, and they have some great summer photos of their property, and their lot looks beautiful in the warmer months. So ensuring that we can get some of those pictures, I think, is really important as well.
Absolutely. And two, I also don't want to beat a dead horse, but professional support, making sure you're working with the right people who understand the unique challenges of selling a home in the winter months. We want to make sure you're working with somebody who is seasoned in that area as well. I'm working with a seller right now, and if I'm in the area, I'll make sure that, is there salt on the ground? Do I need to pick up a shovel? Is the for sale sign covered by a snowbank? You know, we want to make sure that we are going the extra mile for our clients during this time.
Yeah. So where do you think things are going to go in the next month or two? Things that are just unknown and up in the air right now. So what do you think is going to happen?
So many variables, as you mentioned. It's really hard to predict, but generally speaking, knowing that March break is just around the corner, I anticipate the inventory staying quite light up until that time. I think a lot of people are holding their property, waiting to list until after March break. But again, I think it also presents a really unique opportunity for both sellers and buyers. So sellers, if you have a product that is ready, maybe now is the time, because you can potentially stand out amongst the crowd. And the motivated buyers, they are waiting for that right inventory too. So for buyers, you know, keep your finger on the pulse of the market. And if the right opportunity comes along, hopefully you'll be in a position to move forward.
Yeah, I think as well by that time, once we're towards the end of March, we will have been through the provincial election, so that'll be settled. We'll have a better idea on who's going to be leading the Liberal Party and getting closer to a federal election. And I think the big thing is going to be what happens with the US with tariffs. So that'll be something that we need to monitor closely, but it could be setting us up for a busier spring. I would say.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, exactly. And that being said, just shifting gears away from just real estate discussion, I thought we'd do a little bit of this or that. So I'm going to fire away and ask you 5 rapid fire questions. Okay. And we haven't looked at each other's questions. So,
no, we have not.
Yeah, so the first one I wanted to ask you, so open concept or traditional layout, which one?
Ooh. This is so hard because I like aspects of both, but generally speaking, I would say open concept.
Okay, I think I know the answer to the next one, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Hot chocolate or mulled wine?
Mulled wine.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be mulled wine. Sweet or savory?
Ooh, sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Me too. Sweet tooth over here. Beach vacation or mountain retreat?
Ooh, mountain retreat.
Okay.
I think.
You just had one.
I know, I did. I like to be cozy in a cabin somewhere with a book.
And then podcasts or playlists?
See, this one's actually really hard because I am known to curate playlists and I send them to friends, and I love to do that. But generally speaking, I'm definitely more on the podcast train right now. Like when I'm in the car, we spend a lot of time in our vehicles.
Yeah.
I'm listening to podcasts.
Which podcast are you listening to right now?
I like to laugh. So I'm listening to Smartless a lot, which is really, really fun. And Armchair Expert, those are typically my go-tos. And I also listen to The Daily now and then as well.
Nice.
I like a lot of them.
Yeah, nice. Good.
Okay, your turn.
Okay.
Finished basement or spacious backyard?
Spacious backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially with the little one now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cabin retreat or winter city getaway?
Cabin retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I live in the city, so,
True.
you know.
True.
Yeah, any opportunity to kind of get away from the city.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, definitely relaxing.
Pizza or pasta?
Ooh, depends on what kind of pasta. I don't know.
If it's the gnocchi at Ciao Bella.
I know, that's the first thing that went to my mind. The gnocchi at Ciao Bella for sure. Okay, I'll just say pasta. I love pizza though so much.
I know, it's a hard question.
Yeah.
It's hard. An early morning flight or a red eye?
Early morning flight.
Yeah, me too.
Red eye sounds terrible.
Yeah, I just can't do it.
Yeah, I think I've done it, but it's just not fun. And early morning flights are terrible now too. Like a 6 a.m. flight out of Pearson, no thank you.
No, I just don't like waiting for anything though, so I'd rather just like get it done.
Yeah.
Like let's get up and let's do it.
I can never sleep the night before. Like I go to bed super early and I'm still laying there at like 11 o'clock knowing that I have to be up at like 2:30 or 3.
Yeah, it's okay,
Sorry,
Heidi.
we have our dog here. Yeah.
Okay, last
Heidi,
question.
no thank you. No.
You're okay. You're okay. Last question.
Yeah.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That shifted for me.
I
used to
mean,
be a night
when you're
owl.
busy, you're a night owl.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was up till like 11:30 the other night doing 2 offers, but normally it's like 9 p.m., 9:30 bedtime for me,
Yeah.
and up early the next morning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. So we will see what happens with the market in the next month, and we hope to report back at the end of March.
Yeah, with some good news.
Yeah, exactly. Great.